W5 returns this week with an explosive one-hour special. The investigation exposes how Canada has become the #1 exporter of a deadly drug to New Zealand and Australia.
Can I see inside the hollow? Oh, there's more in there.
So there's another bag in there as well.
The powder is put into the plastic testing pouch.
If it goes blue, it'll be methamphetamine.
So that is meth from Canada.
That is methamphetamine from Canada.
CTV's Avery Haynes follows the methamphetamine pipeline from cartels in Canada to biker gangs in the South Pacific, documenting the devastation left in its wake. Avery Haynes joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Will.
You know, I think that a lot of people are going to be really surprised by this report, especially if they haven't been following along. And U.S. President Donald Trump has criticized Canada for the fentanyl across the border. But I think many Canadians would be extremely surprised to hear that we're actually a major exporter of methamphetamine in the Pacific.
Well, they were, and I was as well. I mean, I really had no idea when I first started investigating this story, and was shocked when I was looking at the statistics of the seizures in New Zealand and Australia. I kept checking them again and again, thinking this can't be right. How could Canada be the largest exporter of methamphetamine to New Zealand? And the reality is that we are. There's no country on earth that supplies more of that highly addictive, devastating drug than Canada.
Yeah, I think that you, me, anyone that hears that, it's just an immediate surprise, because you wouldn't think that Canada would be a major exporter of methamphetamine. And you know, it comes with a cost too. As part of your investigation, you do have a tragic story about a person in Auckland.
And that really, Will, is where our investigation began, the story of this 21-year-old named Aiden Segala. He came home from work. His boss had given him a couple of cases of what he thought were Canadian craft beers. They were all really excited to, for the first time, try Canadian beer. He took one gulp of it and went into a coma and died of multiple organ failure, because it wasn't beer that he drank, it was liquid meth. And his boss had been involved in this shipment where they raided a storage unit outside of Auckland that was filled with thousands of cans of this Honey Bear beer, which is a brand that doesn't exist. Most of the cans had beer in it, some of them had meth, and this boss had been giving away what he thought was the excess beer, not knowing that one of those cans actually had meth in it. And from there, our investigation just spiraled. We reverse engineered that shipment to find out exactly where it began in Canada and to try to track down some of the people who might have been involved on this end.
Such a tragic story, and something you would never think of, just opening a beer and having something like that happen. And that brings me to a really important question. Through your investigation, who have you found to be responsible for this, and what are we doing? What are the precautions put in place to prevent stuff like this from happening?
Well, the reality is in every country, people are more concerned about what's coming into the country than what's leaving the country. We know that tons of meth is leaving Canada and going to the Pacific region, and it's having a devastating impact. There's barely a community that's not impacted by meth in New Zealand. It really is a crisis there. And so what we wanted to know, though, is what happens when there are these tons of meth being seized from Canada, but seized in New Zealand? Who's investigating on this side? And what I'll tell you, Will, is that the investigation that we did into the Honey Bear beer case is more than what the RCMP did.
And you had a conversation with the RCMP's criminal department, the head of that. What did he have to say about what's going on with this situation?
Well, I will tell you, and this is something that I had not heard before. You'll remember a number of months ago, the Canadian government declared 7 foreign cartels as terrorist entities. And I think a lot of people sort of assumed that we were following the lead of the US when they did that. He told me that the reason that those were declared terrorist entities is because each one of those 7 foreign cartels from Colombia, from El Salvador, from Mexico, are active and creating crime in this country.
And in the South Pacific, this is where a lot of this is taking place. How have the impacts been since learning this news, especially with your investigation?
I mean, really devastating. Samoa, Fiji, New Zealand, Australia, they don't have fentanyl, interestingly. While North America is really suffering from an opioid crisis, fentanyl is not a big issue there, but it is meth. And I spoke to a lot of people who work in addiction as well as in policing across New Zealand, who all said that there is barely a community that is not impacted by this meth crisis. And so clearly there are a lot of questions about what Canada is doing and what Canada should be doing to stop meth from leaving our country and making its way on that long journey, some 20,000 kilometers to the other side of the world.
Yeah, this is just the very beginning of what's going to be a very surprising investigation. Avery, we really appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you, Will.
And if you're looking to continue with that story, CTV National News Investigative Unit W5 returns this weekend with Cartel Canada airing on CTV, CTV.ca, the CTV app, and the CTV News YouTube channel on Saturday, October 18th at 7 p.m.